Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy, and I help the helpers, the light bringers, and the soulpreneurs of this world to live their most magical life. So if that's you and you're watching on my YouTube channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below with the bell so you can get notifications. And if you are watching on my Facebook, make sure you swing by my YouTube channel because I do share more content over there, and get yourself subscribed so that you can get all of my videos over there. So hi Kelly, nice to see you on here. So we're gonna talk today about what we have going on with this week's energy and how we can best navigate that. And before we dive into that, I do want to talk about my new program that I have launched, that will be launching in October, but I have posted that yesterday on my page. I'll share that. I'll make sure I share that in comments below and in the comments on the YouTube video. And it's called Life Coaching with the Angels. And I'm so excited about this because this is something that I felt called to share for so long. This is something that has been intuitively kind of floating around there for quite some time, but it hasn't been ready. And then all of a sudden it was ready, and I got the go ahead that it was time to share this. But this is totally unlike anything that I've ever offered before, because it truly is us together as a group working with the angels, learning about the angels, learning how to work with the angels, but more importantly, allowing the angels regularly throughout this entire period into our lives to help guide us, to help show us, to help us work in the direction that we intend to work on. And this is us working on goals, this is working on intentions, but to me, it also is about finding clarity. So if you're somebody who says, well, I don't really know what my goal is, I don't really know the direction that I want to move in, well, that's the goal, is to find clarity. And this program is even difficult for me to describe because it's really just something that I felt. It's something that I've been shown, and how to do that and how to create that. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. It's going to be totally online. It's going to be 8 courses, but it's going to be over the process of 16 weeks to really allow us to create some powerful change in our life, to really dig deep and do that work closely with the angels, and to be stepping into 2021 in a really different place than we are now. So check that out, Life Coaching with the Angels. I'll share it in comments, and I would love to have you guys join us. I think it's October 7th that is starting online. It is something that you can watch live with the classes, or the replays will be available. So it's something that you can kind of go at your own pace as well, where you don't have to feel like you have to be there for the live, or you have to follow a certain program. You can go at the pace that feels best and right for you, because we always want this to be adaptable. I already have some people signing up, and I can't wait to share this with you guys. So that being said, I want to dive into this week's energy, and the first thing that I want to start with is just about us being really mindful of keeping our emotions in check. I've had my own experiences with this even over the past couple days, where, I've handled some things in a way that I felt like my emotions took over a little bit too much, right? We don't want to be allowing our emotions to be taking over too much. And we're stepping into this Mars retrograde, and that really can trigger a lot of emotion and put a lot of stuff in our face, right? And so it's going to be really important right now. I've become very aware, like, I've got to figure out, like, I've got to keep my emotions in check. I've got to take some time to cool off. I've got to really make sure that I'm thinking about the choices that I'm making before I'm acting, because if I'm acting based on my emotions, we're going to get ourselves in trouble, okay? So you really want to make sure that you are using all of the coping strategies, the positive coping strategies that you have, really being mindful of that, really being conscious of that, and being very conscious of maybe taking a pause and using those coping strategies before you react to things, because again, it's going to feel, I think, very emotionally charged for a little while, okay? We're probably, I feel this already, you guys are probably feeling this on some level already, and this is important. This is showing us a lot. We learn a lot through our emotions, and I think part of what it is showing us is what it is that we want, where it is that we want to go. And I think what's really important here, what it's really triggering in terms of action, is for us we need to be vulnerable. And I feel like this is truly, truly very key here in this week, but the next couple of months moving forward is us really embracing and learning how to be vulnerable. This is one of the hardest things to do. And I work with people all day, every day, and I see where we all have our blocks, we all have our ways that we protect ourselves. And it's going to be really key to be aware of the ways that you protect yourself and finding ways to let yourself be vulnerable. This is one of the ways, by the way, that some of this emotion can leak out in a healthy way. When you can verbalize the emotions that you have, when you can verbalize what it is that you want, at least you're putting it out there. It is a release. And what I want you to keep in mind is when we're being vulnerable for the purpose of being open and being vulnerable and of taking the action of asking for what it is that we need. And so we want to do our very best to not have an attachment to the outcome. And that's hard, right? To not be attached to the outcome, because when we're asking for something, we want to receive that. We're hoping that the person that we're asking, that the people that we're asking will give that back to us. But sometimes they're just not in that place where they're willing to do that or they're wanting to do that. And this is where I'm saying that vulnerability is really the key that's going to open the door to a lot of opportunity for us. But if it doesn't open the door, then it's not your door. That is very telling. So if we can be vulnerable without attachment to the outcome, and we just see the response to this, that's really telling, and that's really helpful, because that will tell you if that is a door for you or not. If that door is opening, then fantastic. You have spoken your truth, you have asked for what you need, and you can step through that door and receive the opportunities connected with that. But if that door doesn't open, then that's telling you that this is something that you're going to that maybe there's going to be a period of time where you're not feeling like doors are opening for you, or doors in that area are opening for you, but ultimately they will. And this is where faith and trust comes in. We want to make sure that we are trusting and trusting that if one door doesn't open, that there will be other doors. So allowing that process. So this is true in our relationships. This is true. Maybe we're needing to be vulnerable in our job, right? Maybe we want to be, so in terms of being vulnerable, asking for what we need. So maybe at your job, maybe you're feeling like you've been taken advantage of, or that they're throwing too much at you. So if that's the case, maybe it takes a certain level of vulnerability to express that, to communicate that, and to ask for what you need, right? Asking for what you need. Vulnerability, asking for what you need. Or maybe in your job, being vulnerable in terms of asking for a raise. Maybe it's, far time for you to ask for a raise. I can remember really feeling that way when I was working for someone else, and I never asked for a raise, and I never followed through with that. And then I found out when I was leaving that a coworker of mine was making a significant amount of money more than me. So that's something I could have asked for, right? But I didn't take that opportunity. I wasn't allowing myself to be vulnerable enough to ask for what I need. Or in relationships, communicating our emotions, asking for what we need, explaining what it is that we're needing in order to feel good or to feel right within these relationships. But I also want you to think about vulnerability with God. Being open and being vulnerable to just ask for what you need from God. And that sounds silly, right? Of course, we're going to ask for what we need from God. But when is the last time that you really had a conversation with God? Ask yourself that. When is the last time that you really said, this is where I'm at and this is what I need? And maybe you're really good at doing that. But if you haven't been doing that, take the time to do that, to say, hey God, this is where I'm at, and this is what I'm asking for, and these are my intentions that I have, and really putting that out there and asking for that. That is really key, because that can open those opportunities up. And we also want to make sure, again, being vulnerable without attachment to the outcome. So we might ask God for something and we might not receive it. And if we don't receive it, that means that it's not your door. It's not your opportunity. It's not meant for you. But what that means is I always know that when something like that happens, that's just redirection, because God has something better planned for me. And so if we can just trust that, we're setting our intentions, we're sending our intentions up, but we're also trusting that we are that God, the universe, whatever that is for you, is always looking out for you and is going to take care of you. And so if you're being redirected, that is redirection for a reason. So we just want to make sure that we're trusting that and we're honoring that. So just thinking about the ways that maybe you could improve in terms of opening up, having an open heart, being more vulnerable, asking for what you need, and watching for opportunities to go for that. I think that that's going to be really huge, really key, and can open up some major opportunities, some major leveling up here for us. So if we are taking those opportunities and we're not allowing fear to hold us back, we're not allowing our emotions to take the wheel, and that creating more conflict than resolution. Okay, so we really want to do this from a calm place as well. So let's dive into the cards. We're going to take a look at this. These really, support so much of that, but let's take a look. The first card that we have here is the Ace of Earth. And the Ace of Earth, I have this showing up with the card from my card deck, is the work card, okay? These two are really saying to me that we're still very much in this energy of taking action. We're still in Virgo season. It's very helpful to take action. It's very helpful to put energy into the things that are most important to us. One of the ways that we can do that is through vulnerability, but also through taking action. So we want to be taking action. We want to be taking steps, because as we take action, the universe will help to support us in that. And the Ace of Earth is all about rewards and creating a solid foundation for ourselves, and just things really working out very well for us. It's about success. Right? And the work card as well is, I'll read it for you. It says, great power and success in your work. The things you focus on turn to gold. Get to work. Okay? So putting energy into the work that you're doing, and in understanding that a lot will come through putting your energy into that. And that doesn't have to be your job. That doesn't have to be the work that you get paid for, although it can be. It can be something else that maybe you're just passionate about, or that you're just wanting to put your time and your energy into. So be really mindful of what you're putting your time and energy into right now. I've been talking about these divine assignments. We've been receiving divine assignments on what we should be focusing our time and our energy on. I feel like I'm getting a lot of them right now. But it's time for us to work. There's a time to slow down, and there's a time to work. So as a collective, it's time for us to get to work, because the rewards will really be wonderful in connection with that. The next card that we have here, though, is the balance card, right? Making sure that we're staying in balance. But I do feel like this is referring more to finding a way to keep our emotions in balance, not be emotionally reactive, really taking that pause. I think sometimes if we can just take a little bit of a pause before we respond to something, we can save ourselves a lot of trouble. And so trying to take that pause, try not to allow those emotions get the best of us. Maybe expressing our emotions through being vulnerable with someone else, that's another way. But allowing ourselves to release these emotions, I know for me, like working out is a huge piece of that. There's so much in connection with that. Jen says she likes my work card. I love that one too. I like the colors, the pink and the gold. I love my deck. These will be for sale soon, guys. So yeah, just allowing yourself to find that balance and use those tools that you have, or learning new tools. This can be a great opportunity to learn new tools for balancing your emotions. The next card that we have here is the Awakening card reversed. And so we might not feel like we have all the answers yet. We might not feel like we have a lot of answers yet. And so it is important also that we're like taking these pauses where we need to, that we're taking that time away to be able to listen to our soul, to be able to hear the messages that are trying to come through for us. And so sometimes just taking that time out will allow you to be guided, to be shown. And so we want to ask to be shown, and we might not feel like we have all the answers, but follow those intuitive prompts in terms of actions that you need to take. You might not quite understand why you're taking them yet, but follow those prompts anyway, because I find that the universe tends to show us the way in little steps rather than just giving us the big picture and saying, hey, go for it and work toward it, okay? So taking those little steps as you feel called to take them. The next card that we have here is the Two of Air. And the Two of Air, this is like, there can be some battles, there can be a battle of wills, and this might be a battle of wills within yourself. You might be battling with yourself, like battling with your emotions, battling with your ego, really feeling like you don't know what you want, or you don't know where you want to go. But again, this is where we really want to set the intention for clarity. We really want to take time away to allow that clarity to come. It will come. Just trust that it will come. And so we really are battling with parts of ourselves, or we maybe are even in conflict with others. And this is like butting heads where people aren't necessarily understanding one another. If we can allow ourselves to be vulnerable, then I think that clears the way for there not to be quite such a butting of heads. But again, we can't be too attached to the outcome. So you may try to be vulnerable and you might not get the same back in return, and that's okay, because that just isn't your door, like I said. So the next card that we have here is the Ten of Water. And I think Heather says she wants to be put in a timeout after today. Absolutely. Like, that really is this energy. Like, that really is. It really is. And so can we put ourselves in our own timeout to just chill out, relax, connect with our clarity, calm down? I think that when we can release all this emotionally charged stuff, underneath it is where that clarity is going to come from. But then we have the Ten of Water, okay? So I do feel like there are opportunities here for happy, connected relationships. And so when it is a situation, a relationship, oftentimes this is connected to relationships. When it is a relationship that is meant to be, or that we are, meant to deepen that connection with, then that vulnerability is going to open that door. It's going to allow for a deepening of connection. It's going to allow for some really positive relationship energy. If it's not, it's not. Then it's going to be more of this Two of Air energy, right? But it's okay. It's okay either way. So there is great opportunity for us to work through some big relationship stuff here in this week. The next two cards that we have here are connected to, I pulled them at the same time, okay? So I have these two together. So we have the Six of Fire, which is about victory. It's like feeling like we have come out of battle victorious. And then we also have the Life Experience card. So life experience is about a big change, a shift, a letting go, a moving forward. And these two together for me are really saying that anything that feels like a loss, anything that is a transition, even if you're fighting it, even if you don't like it right now, it's a positive. It's a victory for you. And so trust that it's a victory, and trust that you're being guided on your right path, because, we can't open doors that aren't wanting to open. And so allow yourself to be victorious, moving in a different direction. I think that that's really, really key here. I also pulled the Release card in connection with that from my deck, right? Freedom and breaking out of that which limits you. Let that shit go, okay? So I think we're going to be releasing some things where it isn't in alignment for us anymore. There is a release with this Life Experience card, and with this release and a connection to freedom in a lot of ways. So understand that, and understand that anything that's being cleared out of your life is meant to be cleared at this time. And then the last card that we have here is the Queen of Fire. Okay? Queen of Fire, really important here. This is all about confidence. This is all about stretching your wings and flying. And so embracing whatever is, wherever you're at, and finding a way to just embrace it. Be confident in it. Be excited about your life. Connecting with your fire, connecting with your passion. understanding that it's really important for you to not underestimate yourself. It's really important for you to be connecting with your independence, for you to be asserting yourself, you know, because sometimes vulnerability requires you to assert yourself, to say, this is what I need. This is what I want in my life. God, this is what I'm asking for, right? And it's really important for you to be putting that out there, embracing this Queen of Fire energy. I think that if we can do that, we're really going to feel like we are on fire. We really are going to find ourselves in a positive place. So flow with all of this. It's a lot. We're navigating a lot on top of everything that we have going on with the pandemic and all of that stuff. So also, you know, give yourself some grace and be patient with yourself and be loving with yourself and be loving with other people too, right? We all need to be more loving with each other. We all need to be more patient with each other as we are all navigating a whole lot right now. So those are your messages for this week. I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button. I would love to hear from you in comments below. And if you want to learn more about me or about Clarity, you can check me out at discoveryourawakening.com. I will see you guys soon with another video. Take care, guys.